weird shenanigans while I was gone.
Yeah, no, she's not here for me to have shenanigans with. Oh man, you remember how I said that we wouldn't be talking about Sony today?
I'm not gonna allow this. This is
No, I lied, but we're not. It's not a hate thing, but it's really not. I promise. But I did lie, and we're gonna have to talk about them a little bit. I did it again. What the hell with that song? Oh my god, I can never pick the right damn video. Anyways,
You're failure.
I did. I failed miserably. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Cup of Genre, the Daily COG. Here with Kyle and
Manny, the moody mammoth.
So I said we had to talk something about Sony. So Sony Pictures specifically, but not any franchise. We actually get to just hear from Tony Vinciquerra. I'm curious. Is it an Italian name or is it a Hispanic name? I'm not sure.
I think it might be Italian because we're not claiming that over here.
But you know what I mean? It's kind of one of those that looks like it could go either way. So I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But Tony here is calling Sony an independent studio now in the era of streaming, and to a degree, I get the point that he's trying to make here, that they're not owned by a cable company or a giant corporation as part of a conglomerate of sorts with other media, and that he says they plan to really focus on the theatrical side. Specifically, he says, excuse me, Sony Pictures Entertainment, SPE, has many reasons to feel optimistic about the way things are going now. On the film side, the traditional Windows model, the time movies are in theaters, has been upended. Several studios are experimenting with shorter theatrical windows before offering films on their streaming service or even offering day and date releases. Ultimately, this will raise the bar for theatricality, whatever that means, of film. This is something you and I have talked a lot about. Jammer and I, all of us here at LRM have talked about the idea of what happens post-pandemic with all the streaming, the day and date stuff. To me, it kind of actually sounds like Sony's on the ball here. They see that audiences do want to head back to the theaters. He does talk about their window shortening to 45 days in theaters, and makes a point that with that, they only have to make one big PR push for a film. They don't have to do multiple. They don't have to spend money to remind people, hey, this film's still in theaters. Dude, Tony had, I don't know if it's his idea or not, but that sounds logical. Like, did Christ return last night or something? Did I get left behind? What's going? Hell freeze over? What do you think, man?
It's hard for me to answer that question because you and I are together, so I'm not sure that leaves me either. I don't know, man. It's you gotta try different things, and you're right. It's just different. We're in different times right now, and yeah, they should try that. And I really think you need to give theaters a shot to play movies. I know that the way that like Warner Brothers did things was because they were very uncertain about how this year was going to turn out, and I honestly thought it was the right move just because of the fact that you don't want to get backlogged like some of these other studios are getting, and you need to push your streaming service. But yeah, Sony doesn't have that. Sony needs to just do their thing, man.
Yeah, it would be crazy to see Sony kind of leading that theater charge. But like I said, when I first read the headline, you know, independent studio, I was like, you guys are so full. Oh wait, no, you're actually kind of right.
You're ready. The hate was ready, and then
It was.
you were disappointed, and then you hated them for not hating.
You think you're an independent film studio? You think you know art? Fuck you. No.
Yeah, well, because you associate the word independent with
Exactly.
art, and so now you're just like you're like Spider-Man's not art.
Yeah.
You know that those casting choices are not art.
Yeah, exactly. But on the business side of things, man, I gotta give it to Team Sony on the idea of supporting theaters.
Absolutely.
That's great. He also admits that this year they plan to eat a lot of money losses. They expect their margins to be. He says they will undoubtedly, is his quote, suffer this year. And he says our quote, our production budgets will go down in the coming year because we are assuming the COVID expenses will come out of those budgets. Basically, in order to pay for the losses, they plan on cutting budgets of future projects. Now, there's some things where, you know, especially on TV, and he does mention TV in this article from Variety. Everyone can check it out there. It was written by, I want to make sure I give good credit where it's due, Patrick Frater from Variety. He mentioned TV shows getting smaller budgets, movies, and things like that. One of the best things out there right now to really help out with budgets are those stagecraft machines being built. I think 2 are now functional, if I'm not mistaken. One in the US and one in the UK, I think. And there's 2 or 3 others being made. I know Disney can't wait to rent those things out and charge money for it, but it will be cheaper than sets, building things on location, going on location. So yeah, it feels really weird to talk about Sony Pictures in such a positive way. But I look, this is where you can tell people that are you know, real thinkers is like, yeah, this is good stuff. I can give Sony credit for this 1,000%. No, all jokes aside, I hope they are successful in this. I just really hope they can learn to apply some of this logic to their stories. So, oh man, it's Friday and I get to talk about Dr. Stone tonight on Animeversal, which, dude, it was like an endgame moment. I'm not joking. It was one of the most intense semi-finales I've ever seen in my life. I know you don't watch it. I can't wait to gush about it with Brian and Christine on Animeversal reviews tonight. He did mention the reason why I bring up the anime thing. He did mention that, you know, their streaming deals with Netflix and Disney. He called those good deals for the time being and for what they are. And then he mentioned that outside of their niche streaming services like Funimation and now Crunchyroll, they don't have a plan for a worldwide like Sony Plus. They're not going to rebrand Crackle or anything. He mentioned a foreign streaming service in India that's doing really well. But yeah, man, their focus is movies, and they really are in a position to kind of tug at our heartstrings as film fans by saying things like independent film studio. And God, I hope they actually go with that. And Sony's Screen Gems has been pretty decent at giving a lot of new talent shots, and especially in horror, Sony's been pretty good with. So yeah, way to go, Sony.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, with everyone else having all these services, you might as well be a seller. Don't overdo it, and then and try to make something out of nothing. and not have enough content, just because you're trying to be one of the boys.
Yeah.
It it doesn't suit them. They're not gonna do it. They're not even gonna worry about it. Like, we're just gonna make our films and we're gonna sell them to Netflix. We're gonna sell them to Amazon. We're gonna put them on Hulu, and we're just gonna make money that way.
Yeah.
I think we're not gonna worry about, oh my god, how many subscribers do we have? We're just gonna worry about making movies, making TV shows, and that's what we're gonna focus on. That's pretty sound moves, if you ask me.
Yeah. Like I said, it's so weird to be talking so positively, but let's go ahead and do a little bit of Friday Frights, man. It's been a little bit since we got to talk about some horror movies. I know you got some things coming up from the Conjuring universe next week. So that's awesome. We also got the trailer and for Shyamalan's new movie Old. The synopsis for the film: this summer, the visionary filmmaker M. Night Shyamalan unveils a chilling, mysterious new thriller about a family on a tropical holiday who discover that the secluded beach where they are relaxing for a few hours is somehow causing them to age rapidly, reducing their entire lives into a single day. Think Thinner, but with age. Interesting trailer. What do you think about it, man?
Dude, I'm all about Shyamalan movies.
Even the bad ones like The Happening?
I mean, yeah, well, The Happening wasn't good, but there's he has some good ones, man. Like,
yes.
But he does that. He takes risks sometimes with with the storytelling and the way he likes to make twists and things like that. But that's what makes movies fun sometimes. It's that ride. I love his use of sometimes he uses a lot of sounds. And just gets you just your body tingling sometimes, especially if you have a good sound system at your house or in theaters, obviously. It makes you very uncomfortable.
Yes.
And I think part of, and then I don't know if you've seen Servant on Apple TV.
Not yet. Is it good?
Yes. Oh, the first season's good. I'm not gonna. The second season, we'll leave it there. But he uses as the characters are talking about something that's uncomfortable. Somebody else is doing something that's visually uncomfortable also, or it sounds gross and this and that, and then so it's an experience that isn't necessarily scary, but your body's kind of squirming.
Yeah.
And so he does that very, very well. I love my favorite Shyamalan film is Signs.
Absolutely.
His use of sound and mystery, and not we use our imagination to kind of put together the pieces, and it makes it terrifying. He just gives us hints here and there, and it's a great film. I love it.
It is. You when you think about most people, when you say Shyamalan, the first thing that comes to their mind is the bad stuff, and I don't necessarily get that. But whatever. For me, I immediately think of Unbreakable, Signs. I think of Split. I liked Glass enough, but it didn't. It was a little disappointing, honestly. But and of course the Sixth Sense, which made him a household name. Lady in the Water wasn't too shabby. I liked that one well enough. The Village, I think, gets too much hate. It's good the first time, but it's not a good repeat view for me. But I do want to play what I think is one of the best scenes he's ever made and it comes from Signs. I was already pulling it up when you decided to mention it as your favorite. And I'm going to go ahead and get our video panel back on screen. There we go. And yeah, let's enjoy this great scene from Signs.
There's a monster outside my room. Can I have a glass of water?
What's wrong with the water next to your bed?
It tastes old.
Tastes something my son would say. It tastes old. Listen, no music. Creaky floors. footsteps, like you said, sound, man.
Also, it's dark. Notice how
Yes,
we don't get to see much.
I was in the theaters with my friend Matt, skipping school to watch this. We didn't know what to expect or anything.
The funny thing is, I saw this after school. I went to class first.
No, we skipped. We went to Nashville.
What are you thinking about?
This is so good.
Why do you talk to Mom when you're by yourself?
Kids are so
Makes me
creepy.
Worse than horror movies.
Does she ever answer back?
What a question. What a writing, man. This whole thing of questioning faith in this movie, it has nothing to do with the aliens. I love it.
She never answers me either.
Heartbreaking. Everyone in the theater sees it, but we don't gasp until now. That's when everyone in the theater gasps. It's like we all saw it, but it didn't dawn on us, just like him.
It takes a moment to process.
Lionel Pritchard and the Wolf and your brothers are back.
I love this. And look, Joaquin Phoenix. I know some people give him flack. This whole thing in this movie, his character, I love it.
Outside, move around the house in opposite directions. We act crazy, insane with anger, make them crap in their pants.
And Mel Gibson
Force 'em around
is
till we meet
just
up on the other side.
He's great in this film. I know
Explain that
he's
crazy.
not necessarily
Yeah,
the good
curse and stuff.
person, but
Want me to curse?
got to give him his
You
due
don't
as an
mean it.
actor.
It's
He's
just for
good at
show.
it. I love
Won't be
this.
convincing. It doesn't sound natural when I curse.
Just make noises then.
Explain
He
noise.
doesn't get it. He
do
just
this or what?
doesn't know how to be
No, I'm not.
angry. He
You
doesn't
want
know how to
us doing something in the house
emote.
next time?
And that's what I liked
On the count of three.
so much about this film is, like I said, it's not even about the aliens. You could have put these guys in.
I'm insane with anger! We're gonna beat your ass, bitch!
And they get away. The alien goes away, and it's such a great scene. But they could have done anything. They could have used a bank robbery, a hostage situation. They could have used home invasions. They could have anything that he wanted to do. And it's so scary. And the other great scene in there when you talk about squirming is the birthday party video when you get your first color look at the aliens. And I mean, they're not the scariest creature I've ever seen, but the way that's done, the way it comes out from behind the bushes, Phoenix's acting and reaction just enhances that scene. And dude, again, in the theaters, when that thing comes out of the bushes in that video, everyone in the theater, all like 20 of us that time, all like scream. Dude, it was such a trip. And old looks good.
Yeah, I have to agree, man. It's such a good film. And then so now moving on to old. now he's gonna make us uncomfortable in another way. After using our fear of aging, and not only aging physically, but for parents, you know this too, is blinking and our kids growing up.
My son will be
And-
8 years old this year.
missing something, right? And now we get to go through this in a day, and you have to deal with all that on a beach with strangers. I think it's gonna be a pretty good. The only thing I did not like about the trailer, I'll be honest, is they started teasing the big twist. And I was like, come on, we already knew that. Just you didn't need to. You didn't need to put that in as well.
Yeah.
So
It's all right. We'll talk a little bit more about some scary movies in just a second. Let's go ahead and hear from our sponsors over at Grow Generation.
Grow Generation, where the pros go to grow. Grow Generation is your one-stop shop for hydroponic grow supplies, product systems, and more. Grow Generation serves customers across the nation and carries a wide inventory of renowned cultivation brands. Go to www.growgeneration.com, where the pros go to grow.
Now, thank you so much, Grow Generation, for sponsoring the episode. Thank you, Christine, for the read. I know you and I've talked about the movies that or the things that scare us most before. And for those of you that might be new, please hit that subscribe or follow button if you're on YouTube or one of the podcast apps. And it's aliens for me, specifically Greys. I was scarred by that movie, Fire in the Sky. I don't know if you ever saw it, but it's a abduction movie based on a true story. I use air quotes because, you know, it's alleged, you know, but it's about Greys basically abduct a guy and experiment on him. And it's just, it was like a 1990s sci-fi snuff film, basically. It was just all the worst parts of an abduction story shoved into this movie, and it scarred me. I saw it when I was like 8, 7, and I can't, to this day, like, images of Greys freak me out. Like, I don't even think those are real. Like, if there's aliens, I don't necessarily think they're Greys, but it just gets to me. It's borderline like an actual phobia. But at the same time, those aliens in Signs, they're not Greylings, but they scared the fuck out of me because of the way he did it. The one that gets locked inside the closet or the pantry, two-fingered Jack, or how many does he lose? 2 or 3. That scene in and of itself, when Gibson gets the knife, that's a scene not just with sounds but images. You don't want to see it. You're like, no, don't show me. Don't. I don't want to see it. Don't look. Why are you looking with a knife? It's so creepy, and I almost miss that in horror films today, because I feel like once horror kind of came into the mainstream, it more became about like the jump scares and gore than a good deep scare, like a reach into your soul with a cold hand and squeeze your chest, you know. Have you noticed the same?
Well, I've been watching a lot of like independent horror films,
which definitely keep the legacy going.
Yeah, so depending on what I guess subgenre of horror they're doing, they're going to spend a little bit more time on it. For example, I just did some interviews for a film called Spare Parts, which is like a like a post-apocalyptic future where this all group of punk like a punk girl band gets abducted, and they get one of their arms sawed off and then put into it like a junkyard gladiator style arena where they have to fight, and their hands are replaced by weapons.
Whoa! So somebody watched Human Centipede and was like, I'm not gonna tie people together, but I'm still gonna fuck with their bodies. That is that's one of those things, man. Body mutilation.
I can't handle it.
Do you get the feelings like when somebody's getting something cut off, like you could almost feel it yourself? You're just like, God, no.
And so you know what's funny is the worst thing for me is, and it happens a lot in like there's like an Exorcist movie, The Cleansing Hour. So one of the worst things for me, absolutely, is when nails come off.
Oh.
Or crack or whatever. Oh, dude, just I can't do it. I can't do it.
Oh man.
That, and then also they just did it in a film. What was the other? Oh, I also did an interview for Anything for Jackson, which is another horror movie you can actually find on Shudder, and it's actually going to be on DVD Blu-ray next week. There's this imagery of a lady. It was one of the haunts. She's flossing, and as she's flossing, her teeth's falling out. But she's flossing so vigorously that her mouth is bleeding, and her teeth are. Oh, dude, it is. I wish I never saw that. But here we are.
There is a great scene from Metalocalypse, which I know you haven't gotten into. I need to get you into that show, because I know you like metal and I know you like horror, and it's so good, and it's so Awesome. But there's a scene where they're gonna go to the doctor for a health checkup, and they're afraid they'll get in trouble if they're not healthy, right? And so they decide the best way to make sure their UA is clean is to drink bleach. And the singer drinks. I kicked my camera. This singer drinks this bleach and has this hallucination where his teeth start falling out after making out with a chick, and his tongue's rotting, and his jaw falls off. It's wicked looking, dude. It's so awesome. And in the logic, he's like, look, bleach is made of mostly water, and so are we. So therefore, we are bleach, and that's why it's safe to drink it.
Damn.
It's so funny. Anyways, yeah. The mainstream part of it, where the jump scares and the gore is there. It's cool. It's good. It's fun. I mean, I'm a trauma fan. I love gory films. I mean, you know, gore porn is a phrase for a reason. And I'm not talking like legitimate pornography. We're just talking about, you know, gore for the sake of gore. Things like the Nightmare on Elm Street when Depp gets killed. You know, all that blood. That's not realistic. That's super extra over the top gore. But I loved it. But yeah, I enjoy cerebral and thriller type horror. I enjoy the gory stuff. I like a jump scare. I'm really glad that the genre lends itself towards independent studios, or at least inexpensive filmmaking, meaning that we get a lot of content in that genre in horror.
Yeah, especially now with like Shudder.
Mm-hmm.
It allows you to not always get stuck with the big budget ones, but also get to see the visions of other creators and see things sometimes that you were, oh, I never thought of something like that. I did a movie a couple months ago called, what was it called? Jeez, I don't remember anymore. I cover so many things sometimes.
We do.
I'm gonna have to
That's all right.
out there because it's useless now.
That's all right. It happens.
So, you know, it's funny because I did want to ask you what when you sit down and watch a horror movie, what are you looking for? I used to be the type of person that was all plot, and regardless of the ride and the experience, if the story did not end in a satisfactory way, I would very wrongly criticize the film.
I am, in general, for just the whole horror genre, my key things are tone and feel. Whatever you're trying to set, I need that to hold through. So if you're going for something cerebral, I don't expect to see a bunch of gore and stuff like that. I don't want to be taken out of that setting by dismemberment. You know, if you're going for comedy, I don't want you to all of a sudden switch it up on me and make it too serious. Tone and that consistency for me is really important for horror, because any small thing in horror can make the whole thing fall apart. You know, one thread gets pulled, the plot goes, the acting goes, the twist might go, and that can really suck. For individual like subgenres, it all ranges. You know, I would say, if I'm looking for a new horror movie, more than likely I'm looking for something not supernatural. So I prefer human villains. I prefer, you know, psychopaths. If there is a supernatural element, I'd prefer it to be just a really strong, you know, a Mike Myers type thing, you know, where it's supernatural, but it's not ghosts and goblins type stuff. What about comedy horror, man? Do you like those a lot? Or
actually, yeah, I found so much joy in them lately, and especially because it feels like the writers and directors sometimes just have so much freedom to just do whatever they want, and they're like, it's meant to be funny, it's not meant to be taken seriously, so they're it's almost like a little bit more carefree, and so you're able to play in the sandbox a little bit easier when you know that nobody's going to harass you because you threw sand out of the box. And then the most fun is talking with those directors afterwards, and being able to talk about those experiences, and then find out that certain things were ad-libbed at the moment because it wasn't on the take, but they're like, dude, that was so good, do it again, and things like that. But that one's been a little tricky for me because it's a little bit harder to not criticize, but really take in. Like there's a movie that is a I call it a horror comedy. It's called Slacks. It's about a pair of killer pants.
Nice.
So the whole premise of it is that the cotton that was picked, it has been contains the blood and sweat of like dead pickers in India, now they're back for revenge in the form of the pants. And so, although it has a message, it's actually meant to be funny.
Yeah.
And if you haven't checked it out, we actually do have the trailer on our site, and it's available on Shudder. It's because I didn't take it seriously, I'd enjoyed it so much more than I would have. There's even a dance number in it. So.
Oh wow. I think one of my favorite comedy horror films of all time is Idle Hands. It's one of those movies I watch every Halloween, but I also usually watch it once a year outside of Halloween even. It's a mix of stoner comedy, horror, traditional horror comedy. I was in maybe 8th or 9th grade, I think, when that came out. It had Jessica Alba and Devon Sawa, Seth Green, and the dude that plays Foggy in Daredevil. I forget the actor's name, but absolutely great, hilarious movie. And it came out in 99. So yeah, April 30th. So I was finished. That would be my 98 to 99. That would be my 8th grade year. So yeah, I saw that when I was in 8th grade, and loved it. God, it's so good. Have you ever seen it?
No.
Need to see that.
I would even call. I don't know if it was meant to be super scary and it just ended up being funny, but I don't know if you've ever seen Krampus.
Yes,
it has some Krampus. Horrific imagery, but it's funny at times, like very funny. So there's that one. I'd call Mars Attacks horror comedy.
Yeah, alien invasion.
It has some comedy. Yeah, it's good. Well, I think one of my favorite all-time scary movies, man, because it has just the right amount of everything. I think it's called Shudder. Jesus. It's a Japanese movie, and then they remade it. A lot of good horror they make it in Japan, and then they bring it over here.
Yeah, the Asian horror market is phenomenal, and it was cool, back in the early 2000s when people were discovering things like Ring and Grudge and stuff like that. But not just Japan, dude. Korea, Train to Busan, of course, was a big hit a couple years ago. Yeah, and the spin-off sequel looks to be very entertaining as well.
That's actually available on Shudder now too.
Awesome.
Dude, Shudder, man, is
I know
really
I've got it.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I've got it. I love them. It's so awesome to just be able to. We lost Blockbuster and Hollywood Video, but we got Shudder instead, and it's the same thing, man. It's those covers, those cover art, the box art that we used to call it when you're scrolling through. You know what? I'll say that when I go for a horror movie, a lot of it depends on that cover art, dude. That's what used to get me at the rental places was that looks weird. I'm gonna get it. Like I didn't even think about that till now. Yeah, absolutely. I know you didn't necessarily get into horror back then, but how does box art play into it for you?
Oh, dude, even as a kid, even if I wasn't necessarily watching it, I remember being I'm covering my mouth while I'm talking. I don't know why I'm doing that. They it was terrifying. I'd be at Blockbuster and we'd be getting movies, and I'd be in the horror section just staring at things, just because the imagery was so good. My favorite box art, dude, I'm not gonna lie, was it.
Oh yeah,
the Pennywise in the corner,
yep. And the claw coming
good
through.
Yeah, really, really good stuff. I like that so much.
I liked the basket case because it was so enticing, and you're like, "What is this going to be like?" And then when you first see basket case, you're like, "Oh my god!" I guess you've never seen it.
but it's funny because my dad, he did like some horror films, and what would end up happening is I'd have to watch it anyway. Like, he's a big fan of like Silence of the Lambs and some other films that he'd just be like, "Oh yeah, close your eyes." But I really appreciate the fact that he trusted me enough and my brothers to be able to handle certain things, because it makes me appreciate cinema so much more and understand the differences and themes between real life and cinema. And I do the same thing now with my daughter. I get criticized sometimes for it, but I feel that I have a better relationship with her too, because then we're able to talk about certain things. Sure, yeah, absolutely. There's some films we don't watch together. Yeah, so
you're not going to show her Teeth or It Follows or something like that.
Yeah. So, but there's some things that it's just, yeah, we're watching it because I think if you want to watch it, we're gonna watch it, and then if we need to talk about something, we will. But it's that open and honest relationship that has kept us so close forever.
Yeah.
And I think that in the future it'll continue. And so when she says she wants to watch all 3 Conjuring films, we watch all 3 Conjuring films. And she has. She's watched Annabelle. She's watched, all those, whatever. And
has she seen Scream yet?
No.
Not ready for that one yet?
I think that's more of a thing that I want to do with her as a teenager.
Because it's more realistic?
I wouldn't necessarily say realistic is the answer.
Well, I mean, like the violence, like actual like murder type stuff. I know some people, fantasy violence and realistic violence is like the line for parenting. That's what I was asking, basically.
The line is a dot to me, bro.
Well, guys, I guess that's gonna do it for us today. What a wonderful time to do Friday Frights. We had a pretty newsworthy week. Go back and check out some of this week's episodes. We had a great conversation with Christine about the diversity in television done good and done, I won't necessarily say bad, but done the wrong way, with like Powerpuff versus Brooklyn Nine-Nine. We got to talk a little bit about UFO technology and science fiction stuff. It's the Daily Cup of Genre, guys. It's LR mornings on steroids with absolutely no leash now. So and then yesterday we got to talk a little bit about Kraven the Hunter and Amazon and stuff like that. So go check that out. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and our podcast network, wherever you get your podcasts from. Share us with your friends and family. Definitely check out lrmonline.com every day for all of your entertainment news, needs, and opinions. For those of you watching us on YouTube, can see some outstanding social media info down below. It's also in our descriptions. I'm at that Kyle Malone on Twitter, at that one Kyle Malone on Instagram. Manny, tell us what's coming up and where people can find you at.
You can find me online right now, trying to be super frustrated with certain things. On Twitter at LRM_Emmanuel. I almost said exclusive because that's where I'm at right now. And also, well, I'm not lying. And also on Instagram on at riddlemethis_510. Lots of good stuff coming out today. Memorial Day weekend, you got 3-day weekend. One thing I would implore people to check out is a documentary called Bastards Road.
Mm-hmm.
An amazing story about a Marine veteran and how he copes with everything that happened and what he's doing now for other soldiers. We're gonna have a giveaway over the weekend, Monday, in honor of veterans and in honor of Memorial Day and Bastards Road. So be on the lookout for that. Also, we are going to be wrapping up our Cruella giveaway. We've already had 3 winners.
Nice.
So stay tuned for that, which, by the way, Cruella's out today. Theaters, Disney Plus with premiere access. And then also on Disney Plus, Launchpad has been released. There's an interview with the overseers for that program on our site up now. We have an exclusive clip from Nickelodeon's Los Casagrandes, which just went up because
that's the Loud House spinoff, right?
Loud House spinoff, yeah. Just as good as the Loud House. So that just went up live on our Twitter and on our page. And then also, dude, just a lot of stuff. Also, be sure, go to Nickelodeon. Check out the new Rugrats. I'm gonna have pieces with the cast all weekend. Lots of fun. Same voice actors for the babies that you know and love. It was kind of creepy, kind of cool to hear Tommy Pickle say my name. Oh man, good times. So that's over at Paramount Plus now. And hopefully I'm not trying to miss anything. Yeah, so you got everybody got a lot of stuff to do. Also make sure, like Kyle's saying, go back to some of these episodes and check out LRM. Oh, sorry, couple of genre now.
Yeah. And
let us know why we're wrong.
Yeah.
And then we'll tell you
why you're wrong.
It's your own show.
Yeah, it's your own damn show.
But yeah, so like I said, we're doing Cruella giveaways. I have another one coming up after Bastards Road, so keep on supporting us. I'll keep on giving stuff away, even if it's Kyle's stuff.
Oh, okay. All right, guys. Well, we can't wait to hear from you or talk to you guys again on Monday. It will be Memorial Day. Definitely have some things to say, some stories to share, and we might even talk a little bit about some favorite war movies and things like that. So for everyone that's out there traveling and stuff, be safe. Keep in mind what the holiday is about, and if you are a relative of someone that gave the last full measure, God bless you, and thank you for your family members' service and sacrifice. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, everyone have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you on Monday.